FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
His approach to this is very much like Barack Obama's. I think the key way to understand the difference between Barack Obama and John McCain is simply this. John McCain is very passionate about fixing the government. Barack Obama is very passionate about fixing America. They're different things. If you listen to Barack Obama, or actually listen to his wife, she's even more honest about it. You know, Barack Obama's wife will say, my husband is, when he's elected, he's going to make you work. He's going to fix your broken souls, her words, because America is a downright mean place. Okay? Now that is not a government agenda. That is sort of a transcendental spiritual agenda about making America an ideal sort of utopian society. And indeed, Peter's approach to invoke this Rawlsian veil, he's actually, you know, Peter's vision could be applied to Denmark, it could be applied to Botswana, it could be applied to any sort of off-the-drawing-board country. It has nothing, it pays no respect whatsoever to the idea that America is actually a country with its own tradition, its own culture, its own priorities, about how it wants to run things, how it wants to organize society. His vision could be applied to any country off the shelf because it is an idea, it's a utopian idea about how to make a perfect society generally. And that, I think, is how Barack Obama approaches this. He approaches this as if what we need to do is fix Americans. Barack Obama says often in speeches, we're going to make this country great. You know, Michelle Obama says, no, solely because this country is considering making my husband president, I'm proud of it for the very first time in my life. That is a vision of America, that is a vision for a politics that says the problem is America, not the government. Lastly, you know, Peter has this idea, first of all, at some point I need to quiz him about this. He has this idea that the liberals at the beginning of the 20th century had this wonderful sense of justice. When I was researching my book, I was amazed how many of them were racist, imperialist, eugenicists, but maybe we're talking about different liberals.
Opposed to the conservatives at that time. Go ahead.
Yes, actually, in fact, opposed to the conservatives at that time. Most of them were fairly radical libertarians or Orthodox Catholics who were opposed to most of those things. But regardless, his argument's about how what we need to do is we need to give more stuff to the latest, you know, members of the coalition of the oppressed in order so that they buy into the political system. That argument is essentially saying that as long as the masses are successful in threatening the government and society with violence and revolution, we should sort of feed them, you know, the rest of the society should feed the alligator one arm at a time. Or one limb at a time. That, to me, is not an argument based on principle. That is an argument based on the idea that we should basically cave into the loudest people and those threatening the most violence. Indeed, his argument about, you know, if you don't give these people justice, they won't give you peace, that is just a very nice intellectualized way of talking like Al Sharpton, who in fact says, no justice, no peace. And it seems to me that justice is not a bunch of goodies from the government that come out of other people's hard work and labor. Justice is actually a rule of laws that treat everybody the same in terms of when they're before the bar of justice, when they're before the government. Everyone's equal in the eyes of God and government, and then they're allowed to pursue their own individual pursuit of happiness, and if that yields inequalities of result, so be it. That's part of the price of freedom.